I have successfully consumed my soy. Now let's discuss. So, Congresswoman, bartender, said on Twitter, people who argue that dramatic change to policing, including budgetary ones, will mean violent people will be let out of jail to roam free, rarely ever acknowledge that's actually the current system we have today for the privileged. AOC is talking, of course, about Kyle Rittenhouse getting out because a bunch of rich people posted bond on his behalf. So, does anyone believe Rittenhouse would be released if he were Muslim and did the same thing in a different context? For people who say systemic racism doesn't exist, this is what it looks like. Protection of white supremacy baked deep into our carceral systems, law and disorder. So AOC, I was very surprised and very impressed by this statement. AOC has been very, very good as far as the statements that she's made over the course of the last couple weeks. And I just want to say I agree wholeheartedly with this. The idea, right, that someone can simultaneously scream, law and order, law and order, law and order, and then also support someone who violated multiple laws, who violated order, and ended up murdering people. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Like, these people, like, if you were to ask them, if you were to have them take a polygraph test, if you were to waterboard them, they would sincerely say, law and order, law and order, I love law and order. And they would also sincerely say, Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. He illegally purchased his gun and was out past curfew and shot and killed 2 people unnecessarily, but he did nothing wrong. They will say that they support those two things simultaneously, even though they are in direct opposition with one another, right? And again, as AOC points out, she is shifting this into the defund the police and redirect police to fund or police funding narrative as well, which is also a brilliant strategy, okay? All these people saying, oh, if you defund the police, then the criminals will roam free. Again, that's already happening, right? The bail system is something that is only offensive to the poor, right? How come everyone can't post any form of collateral, right, and then just walk free until their trial? Or how come everyone isn't held, right, until their trial? The reason is because that, like, the reason is directly linked to money, because it's class. If a rich person gets in prison, they don't want to be inconvenienced. They want to sleep in their nice bed. So there is a legal loophole for them to be able to get out. If someone murders people in the name of white supremacy, in the name of Blue Lives Matter, oh, that's fine. We'll let them go. If someone is thrown in jail because he was caught smoking a blunt on a city street, oh, whoa, buddy, you're a danger to society. We can't let you out. So, like, that's the kind of notion here that this is something that I am very intrigued in, and how the right-wing brain, again, can simultaneously think law and order, law and order, law and order, and then also simultaneously think, oh yeah, murdering people if they disagree with me is good. Murdering people if they disagree with me is good. Buying weapons illegally is good. Like, how? I just don't understand. Now, obviously, when they say law and order, it does not mean law and order. Law and order, for them, right, is a replacement. It is a placeholder for what they really want to say, but they're too afraid to say. And what they really want to say is, anyone that I disagree with should be sent to prison and or executed. Again, look at the case of Michael Ryanel, who shot and killed a Trump supporter in Portland, right? Was Michael Ryanel set free on a $2 million bail? No, Michael Ryanel was shot 40 times in the back while he had no weapon on him. Or rather, when he had no weapon aimed or armed. I believe he had a weapon on him, but he had no idea that the cops were there and had no opportunity to utilize that weapon. He was shot in the back 40 times, right? Executed by federal police because he shot and killed a Trump supporter. Kyle Rittenhouse, on the other hand, in the name of white supremacy, in the name of Blue Lives Matter, is walking free. He's getting sponsorships from coffee companies. He's living the dream. And the problem here is that this is enforcing his behavior. Kyle Rittenhouse is a kid. He doesn't really know what's going on. He is a product of his environment. That is not to absolve him of anything. That is to have a crushing indictment on the society that produced him, okay? When this guy goes out there and murders protesters illegally, right, violating all sorts of laws, violating all sorts of order, out past curfew, when he does that and then is given $2 million to get out of jail and then is given, like, he's become a folk hero, that is positively enforcing that behavior. That is telling Kyle Rittenhouse deep down, wow, I killed those people and that was the right thing to do. That is what the extreme problem is here, because it's teaching him and people like him. You don't think there's 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds out there that are maybe in the similar position, seeing Kyle Rittenhouse do this and then saying, oh wow, they gave him the money to get out, maybe they can give me the money to get out. You don't think that Kyle Rittenhouse's situation in Kenosha is inspiring other more further right-wing terrorists? If you don't think so, you are a freak of nature, okay? This is all how it works. They all build off of each other, and it's all a racket of enforcing and building white supremacist organizations in this country. One of the reasons why there's a group called Patriot Front is because the people in that group were with other groups, you know, Patriot Prayer, right? There were larger organizations. And then there was a neo-Nazi incident where someone shot and killed several people at a Walmart. And that group was like, do we endorse that or do we condemn that? And there was an actual split. There was a group of people that now identify as Patriot Front who split because they wanted to endorse the mass murder of 20 people in a Walmart. So these are the kind of people we're talking about. If you don't think that there's a 16-year-old out there that saw this and is getting inspired and will in a year or in 2 years commit something even worse than Kyle Rittenhouse's atrocities, then you are not paying attention to the situation. And that is something that I think AOC is trying to basically give off here. It's not just about Kyle. It's about the system that Kyle is representative of. And also, it's a just very disgusting, inhumane, and unequal system. Again, if a Muslim were in that similar situation, you think you'd have the American patriots going out there and saying, oh, well, they just were self-defense, self-defense, self-defense. No, of course not. They would call them a terrorist. They would call them disgusting. They would advocate for the death penalty. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's law and order for those that I agree with, law and disorder for those that I disagree with. Anyone I disagree with, I don't care if you live or die, you have no constitutional rights. If you get shot, executed by federal police 40 times, fuck it, you disagreed with me. I don't care. That is the mantra of the right-wing brain.